Hello Synapse community, my name is Ryan Majitimer. I'm a product manager on the Azure Synapse Analytics team. And today is the February edition of the Learn Synapse video series. Alright, now in today's video we're going to learn how you can use some options in the Synapse Studio to automatically generate SQL and PySpark code. This allows you to speed up development as well as learn programming languages. We're going to generate some SQL, we're going to load data into data frames. We're going to do bulk loads of data and a lot more. Let's jump into it. To query your data in a data lake using SQL, navigate to the Data Hub, select Linked, and open your data lake. Right-click on the file you want to query, select New SQL Script, select Top 100 Rows. Here you can see the select statement that allows you to query the file. You may also want to load the data from the file into a Spark DataFrame. To do this, right-click and select New Notebook, Load to DataFrame. Once loaded, you can see a notebook with a single code cell containing PySpark code. Loading the data from the file into the data frame and displaying the first to the 10th rows of the dataset. But you may also want to load the same data into a Spark table. Simply right-click on the file, select New Notebook, New Spark Table. Here you can see another notebook with a code that allows you to load the data into a newly created Spark table. Here you'll provide a name for the table. For this example, we chose trips as the name for the table. Then you can add more code. So switching to SQL here, simply use the select statement to check the content of your Spark table. You may also want to use external tables over your data lake files. Simply go to New SQL Script, create external table, and then, after the creator detects the file type and the schema of the file, you simply provide the external table name. Pick the database in which the table will be created, and the script creates everything for you in it. It creates the file format, the external data source, the external table with the definition taken from the file metadata, and then provides you with the select top 100 row statement so you can easily check the content of the file via an external table. Another option you may want to use is loading the same data into a data warehouse using bulk load. This time, you'll create a persistent table in the data warehouse. You can decide if you want to load the data into an existing table or create a new one. So you just simply provide the name of your target table where the data should be loaded into and select whether it should be clustered, column, index table, or heap table. When you open the script, you'll notice that it will create a table for you and then use a copy into statement to load the data from the data lake into your newly created table. The last statement is a select top 100 rows statement. This is just to check whether the rows are loaded to your table. As you can see here, we have the data in our table. All these operations were performed on top of Parquet files, but you may also want to do the same for CSV files. You can use a select statement to query the CSV file. You can also add in a header row option to detect the column names from the first row. Also, you may want to use the same technique for JSON files. Simply right-click on a JSON file and perform the same steps. Notice that this time, the statement looks a little bit different. You may also want to experiment with different options like row terminator to make sure that the layout of the rows based on the JSON content applies to your rules. If you want to find out more about how to query specific file formats, you can use the Knowledge Center. Here in the gallery, you'll find different artifacts of sample SQL scripts. For example, the Analyze Azure Open Datasets using Serverless SQL Pool script will show you how to query Parquet files, not only to see the data that is stored in the Parquet files, but also to run some analytical queries. There are also some sample SQL scripts for different file formats like JSON. You can use the query JSON file script to show you the content of the JSON files and also how to flatten the JSON content to make it a tabular using different JSON functions like JSON query and JSON value. There are other samples to different file formats as well. You may want to check out our sample notebooks. To find these, go to the Notebooks tab. Here you can see a bunch of different sample notebooks that use PySpark, Spark SQL, Spark.NET, C, or Scala. These sample notebooks show you how you can work with the data and perform different operations. For example, let's open Using Azure Open Datasets in Synapse Sample Notebook. This notebook will show you how to load 2 sample datasets into data frames, perform some data engineering on top of this data, then join those 2 datasets and provide some meaningful results and analytics. We encourage you to use the Knowledge Center and those sample notebooks and scripts to learn how to code in Synapse. Well, that wraps up our video for today. We learned how you could generate code with a simple click in Synapse Studio, as well as checked out the Knowledge Center. Tell us in the comments, what do you think about the Knowledge Center? It has a certain place in my heart for sure. I would certainly love to hear about what your opinions are. At any rate, my name is Ryan Magitimer. You can find me on Twitter. You can find Azure Synapse on Twitter. Believe it or not, it's Azure_Synapse. And if you like social media, if you like Twitter, LinkedIn, I'm sure there's other websites that people still use. At any rate, I have just the program for you, the Azure Synapse Influencer Program. All the cool kids are doing it. And believe it or not, it's really easy to sign up. Just a couple clicks. There's titles. There are mugs, socks, stickers, other fun stuff. I highly recommend it. Check it out. There's a link in the description if you want to find out more information. And indeed, sign up, as you should. Like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.